Peace and power. Peace and power. Mm, okay. Okay, y'all. So I am here. Peace and power. Hey, sis. I'm going to drop the link to join the live in the chat. I'm eating some cherries because I'm trying to really relax. I'm learning with tarot. You want energy to be able to flow through clearly. And so sometimes outside is a little more stimulation than I prefer. And so today it was a struggle showing up for myself. I did not want to get up. Greetings, brother. I didn't want to get up. Um, I didn't want to get dressed. It's been a long weekend. And so I took some of the oil that I made and anointed myself with it so that I can lift some of that energy. Um, I've been taking magnesium. I have been having a lot of tension headaches. I've never had headaches, never been a thing, and so it's just an indication of stress. And always being in fight or flight, honestly. And for me, I want to change that. So that's what I'm doing. Instead of just being in. hmm Sorry, that was my last cherry. Instead of just waddling in my, and I'm not gonna say sadness, but I just been feeling really low energy and thinking a lot. I'm having a lunar return, which to me is my emotions and thoughts being highly connected. The moon is the lunar, and it represents the emotions, and then it's in Gemini, which is the thoughts. The back and forth, indecisiveness, honestly, on my part. Let me move my phone to make sure we don't have any feedback. I have this microphone, and so I'm like, why aren't you using it? We're gonna get into the Kabbalion today. I keep saying, oh, we need to read it, we need to read it. We still ain't read it. And I keep talking about how Instagram won't let me save my own video instead of just reading it again. The good thing about the Kabbalion is you always learn something new. No matter what phase in your life you are in, it's relatable. And so I got Old Faithful, and we're going to read it. Everybody that knows me knows that I prefer physical books. We're going to start out today on the introduction only. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. I like to read this book in the summer. And so we're going to shed some light um, when Leo season. The sun represents the sun. We're going to shed light. It's our time to shine. We cannot shine on the outside to the world unless we go inward. And so the Kabbalion is a good evaluation of the inward. What have you been programmed to think? And then what programs are outdated. So I'm gonna get my cards, y'all. I'm also gonna take my time with it. I understand if you can't stay the whole time. I'm gonna sit here and get this done, and I'm gonna be doing it till I finish. So we're gonna start out with the card pool, and I should shut the card pool off and come back in. I might just keep it at the beginning of the video. It's gonna be relative to what we're reading. If you don't know anything about tarot, thank you. I'm glad you feel relaxed here. This is a safe space. Feel free to share. And again, um, I always just drop my link. Only people get on is my brothers, and it's okay. It's okay. Um, I did get on StreamYard because the experience is a little better. My homegirl shares her stuff with me, so I'm like, why aren't you utilizing what you have? So I first want to start out by saying peace and power to everyone. Welcome to the new people. Welcome back to my tribe. Um, we have Season House showing up, and my brother. All he saw was those shoulders, thinking, um, I didn't have on shirts. I would never. Y'all, I show all comments. If you don't want it to be shown, let me know, child. Um, the Earth's vibration is definitely changing, and I'm sorry to hear that your sinuses are bothering you. I did. I'm out. Let me see. And I'm glad you feel relaxed here. We're gonna let my brother hop on. Yeah, I know it take a minute for me to get started. So, hey, brother,
Peace, can you hear me?
I can.
I'm driving, so I ain't want to put myself on camera.
And
Since
that's cool.
um, you were saying something about the way you feeling.
Mhm.
And it's funny because when I was down that way, that the way the sun is and the energy,
Mhm.
it's not normal. It's doing something to change us, and it's like we was in the cocoon stage, and
Mhm.
now we're starting to blossom, and it's starting to affect us. And I feel like, I'll never like my sinuses haven't been bothering me for like maybe a couple years, like really bad. But man, it's like my sinuses is killing me right
Oh.
now. So I'm just
So you felt
you
like the
know,
energy was heavy here.
yeah, and I felt, and I'm talking about all over, like everywhere I go. It's like
Mhm.
it's not the power, the energy that I usually have.
Mhm.
It's not available right now. So I
Mhm.
feel like how can I say it? Like my body is in like distress mode. Like it's
Mhm.
stressed out. It's not that extra boost that I usually have. So it's like more like just relax, you know what I'm saying, and
Yes.
do what you
Rest.
can, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, rest. And I fall asleep, but like I'm been periodically just falling asleep out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
you lay back and you just kind of fall asleep. So I just
So
been letting it just happen.
yeah, it's
You
our
know?
bodies are being called to rest. I've definitely been going to bed early. Everybody that know me knows I'm a night owl, and so I've been going to bed, and usually it takes me a long time to get to sleep. And as soon as I lay down, I'm out of there. And so I definitely think an event is happening. Last night I dreamed that, and I don't share my dreams with just anybody, but it's my brother. And so I will share with you all. I dreamed that I was planning this huge event, and it was a huge space, which it symbolizes Leo, a arena, any kind of place where crowds gather. And I was making sure all the drink stations and stuff were set up. But the energy of it all was so draining, even in my sleep. And so I definitely feel it feels very heavy.
Hmm.
I ain't gonna say sad, but heavy. And so I'm just trying to maneuver through it. Sometimes it's just a struggle to even get up. And so today was one of those days I'm like, I'm not going outside.
And it's funny because that sounds like um, all the information, like you saying you're in a arena and you're going to be speaking to the people. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you trying your best to reach as many people as you can, and it's draining. That can
Mm-hmm.
be draining.
Mm-hmm.
When we go on these platforms and we reading the information and the fact that we stressing to get as many people as we can to hear our messages and it's not being reached, that's a draining position and long. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
Absolutely.
be feeling like that. Yeah. So that's what's up. It's clear as day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's clear as day right there. I told you about mine. Mine was weird though. I've been having a lot of weird ones. It's hard for me to interpret these ones that I've been having, but a lot of interesting dreams I've been having.
Yeah, me too. I try to write them down. Sometimes I don't remember, but it is a certain energy over the Earth's space, and I think that um they are heavily trying to avoid all of this heat, which is not helping because then they're spraying and not really understanding because they can say they understand, but not understanding the cause and the effect of spraying all that aluminum and whatever else.
Oh, now since you said that reminds me, right? So the day really started affecting me was a day where I'm out in the yard, I'm doing some trimming and stuff like that, trimming it.
Mm-hmm. You went out, brother.
Picking the leaves up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
You
So you
can
were
now?
out doing yard work.
Okay. Yeah, we out there doing yard work, and all of a sudden these jets start going around everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and the jets, it was having they call it a jet show, but really I believe that's really them doing some work on us. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the next day, that's when I start feeling like this. I start feeling like I got like in sinus infection and shit. So it's like, man, it's like, wow. I know that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's been a year or two. So I gotta give me some mullins. I've been looking around. I don't see any no wild mullins around, but I gotta get me some more.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry to brother Goldmouth. I still forgot to invoice you for your what is it? Oil of oregano tincture. And so I will put something extra in your box. Like I said, if y'all saw my office, I haven't been in here because I don't know, maybe I should push this way. I haven't been in here because it just looks like chaos and I can't really work in this environment. And I do think it has something to do with the planes and stuff because when I'm outside, once they start flying over, it's like two or three of them. And we live in a military town. And so they usually look military. But those military planes be having like equipment built into them where they can
Mm-hmm.
manipulate, space and matter. And so I don't know if there's a plus or not to being outside. And I've been saying I've been having like tension headaches. Like I said, I don't have headaches. And so I don't know if it's because the gamma is coming in so strong and I'm out there in it constantly. But I've been called to rest. Like my body's like, yeah, you don't need to be out there and all that. Just rest. And so if you feeling the same, just get yourself some rest because sometimes that's what we need to recoup.
And then learn pressure points as well. Like learn your
Mhm.
pressure points and massage those pressure points in your hands and in your face,
Mhm.
around these different places that you will relieve that tension that's there. And a lot of
Mhm.
times it's just frequency. The earth pressure is your body is a magnetic force field, and sometimes that pressure from the magnetic force on you sometimes give you a headache, causes sinus, causes chest congestion. What I'm
Mhm.
saying, sore muscles. These are all signs that magnetic field is getting a little stronger, even though it's there for us. But at the same time, we're not equipped to know what to do and what to do when it's happening. Because like we, the seasons and all these things, and we don't look for the signs no more. And when it's happening, we don't know what to do when these things are happening. Like you said, it's like more like lay down and get some rest, relax. Um, just like if you was going somewhere to be medically taken care of, the first thing they do is lay you on the table for you to be worked on. So we have to look at that. That when the earth is doing its work on us, we have to go and relax. You know what I'm saying? Get your favorite, fruit snacks or whatever snacks that you eat, and just absorb that energy, that solar flare that's coming in, that's there to heal you. You know what I'm saying? Get
Mhm.
those things that you like and enjoy, and savor those things, and relax in it. Just like you're gonna watch a movie, watch your favorite movie, or you're gonna, what I'm saying, you're gonna listen to your favorite music. Just relax. You know what I'm saying? That's all a part of the healing process. Um,
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Putting on my music, watching movies or catching up on whatever shows I like on Netflix. And even in that, I really don't be watching. I really just fall asleep. Okay.
right, right. But that's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be able to relax.
Right.
You put those things in front of you and you let go, and then next thing you know, you sleep, or you got you getting your rest in.
Right.
That's very important. But we all got these. Most of us, like myself, we all out here working and in this environment. So you got to reserve some of the energy. Don't put your all into these workforces and these different energies that's around you. These different people's souls that's matching up with yours and trying to enter into your magnetic force field. So you got to be careful, because some people's energy might be relative to yours, so it might be manipulating you as well. While you
Listen,
at these
what,
workplaces.
bro? You better get out of here. Let me tell you what happened this weekend. So, then you say energy manipulation. So over the
Mhm.
weekend, I ended up in this knee deep conversation with a person I don't even know. Um, but by the time the end of the conversation, I was married in Georgia and a sister wife. Okay, so we had all these scenarios flying around, and so one of
Mhm.
the things it was like, okay, I am now venturing into becoming independent of codependency, and we've been talking about this.
Mhm.
I talked about
Mhm.
it. Oh, hold on, dang. Okay, so with codependency, sometimes we'll get in relationships and we'll stay because of what we think will happen once we leave, right? And so,
Mhm.
whether it be good or bad, we just make this a focal point. And so I said, okay, in learning and acknowledging that I want to see what it feels like to be out here and be single again. And so what I was doing was just responding to DMs. So this particular being, I'll say, went all the way in, just the whole history. We exchanged pictures, all these questions. And so by yesterday, the end of the conversation was about sister wives. so, so excuse me. So you know how I feel about it. It's like, okay, men want sister wives, but can you afford them? because when you have a setup like that, you have to have the space. People, you can't really achieve that living in an apartment or a small single family home. What is this? Thank you. Phone just ring. Um, it's just the space and the setup. When we hear in history how this stuff was, these were people who had plenty of land, plenty of house, and so it's just funny and something I hear. So I asked the question, and then I said to myself, okay, so how would I feel special in this setup? And the answer was, you'll be the first wife. And it just reminded me of like a vampiric energy. That holds, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm laughing. Go ahead.
It just holds no weight because that translated to me, the first wife, that first wife has to put up with a lot and do a lot. Number one. The other thing is like, and then with the setup, you're gonna impregnate all of these people unless they have their tubes out or something like that. And it's just like, so how are you gonna run down the history of all these vaginas? Because that's my other thing. It's like me don't really be knowing where these women coming from, and they're not out there researching the history or running it down like an interview. They're just getting into it. And so I'm thinking on an energy level, there's different energies and spirits that you would be dealing with too. And so I end up just saying, I would never take a child and take them out of a two-parent home and put them in a house with five wives to one man, because still the energy balance is off. We talk about masculine and feminine, and the Most High being the middle energy. Then if there's four women, there's four different feminine archetypes, and all the ancestral stuff in the DNA that comes with these women, and then we put them in a household with just one male or two males, three if sons are there and stuff like that. The balance is just never there. And so more power to the people that do it. No offense. It's just that's not how I see my future. What'd you say, brother? It's breaking up.
Hello?
I can hear you now. What you say?
Yeah, I'm on a. I feel like people that say that type of stuff, they, I think they don't understand the neglect and the importance of one-on-one relationship with people, with a woman
Mm-hmm.
and a
Mm-hmm.
man. We live in an environment where we have all these distractions, and in order for you to be the ultimate couple or the ultimate you and her, is that you have to be divine between one another. You can't have other energies intertwined with you guys, because that what that would do is cause eruptions. They don't understand the magnetic force fields that I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The frequencies, everybody has a matching frequency. Now you can be sexually attracted to people, right? That's a frequency. But then mentally, you might not even have an attraction there. Y'all might not have a
Mm-hmm.
frequency attraction, you know?
Absolutely.
So
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
No, I say I was just
Can you hear me?
agreeing. Yeah, I said I was just agreeing.
Yeah,
I was saying,
so I, in order for you to create that, in order for you to build that with somebody, you got to create it, right? So I mean, you got to create. It's not natural. It's not something that just happened where you automatically mentally intertwine. Now you sexually intertwine with that person through a frequency, right? Having
mm-hmm.
that frequency exchange, but maybe the mental ain't right. So now you got to build a frequency to match that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
that frequency, if you both don't know how to mend it together, then it might not ever work. That's what a lot of people going through with one-on-one relationships today. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? They sexually attracted to each other, but mentally the frequencies are off. You know what I'm saying? The mindset's
And
not the
vice
same.
versa.
You know what I'm
And vice
saying?
versa. They can be not
I can hear
sexually.
you.
I said they can be not sexually attracted to each other, and the mental
Right.
be heightened. Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah. But
Right. So
it was just
what do
funny.
you do? What do you do? What do you do in that case? I mean, if you got four or five women and um maybe you're sexually attracted to those women, but they might not be sexually attracted to you. They just might be mentally attracted to you. Now her sexual desire has to come that she has to build, and that's not natural. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the other question.
You
I had so many questions, but my next question would have been, how do you go about scheduling who is being slept with? Because even women, that energy is supposed to be used to create, and then with that many women in the house, that's chaotic. I just, but he was a handsome brother. Shout out to you, brother, if you ever watched this. You handsome, beautiful man. 6'2". That's why I say Sage. I don't be worried about getting a man. They be falling into my DMs. It be so funny. And then I also went out. I went out into the actual world. Don't just be socializing in DMs. And I went to a live music bar. It's beautiful. Love live music. Once I got there, there was this older guy, the club owner's friend, who decided that he was spitting on me, and it was cool. I know how to, just navigate. And so
Mhm.
in that, all night, just the compliments, he was really in. I was focused on enjoying my time and the music and the people. I love melanated people, and in a grown people setting, it's just a beautiful thing to see. We had brothers in there actually, speaking and socializing. They weren't in there just standing on the wall like you see at a young club. And so, in that, by the end of the night, the same guy came back and said he felt like he needed to let me know that he had found him a plan B. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I didn't even know I was playing A. Like, you gotta tell me. I didn't know that I was playing a part in your story. So it was just so funny. But what it did was, in true Leo season fashion, build the confidence up. And that's what it's about. Staying confident in yourself, to whether you in a relationship or not, you not feeling like any sort of less than. It doesn't make you. You can be in a relationship and it be okay, but you have to know that without that relationship, it's still gonna be okay. And that's
Mhm.
codependency, like feeling like if you're not in that, it won't be okay. That's not true. And so,
Right.
that was my work for the weekend. It was so so funny. Very interesting weekend. Like I said, I almost was a sister wife, and then I also had cat daddy to the left. Somebody I was playing A. I'm like, I felt a little special.
Yeah, that's what's up. I
It's
mean, I mean, as a man, um, yeah, we feel like that too. You know what I'm saying? We do feel like we have to test the waters and see if we
mm,
still have that. But the problem with us men is we we fall for it. So we fall into it. You know what I'm saying?
hit shit too far.
And end up in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And now you're in love with two or three people, and they don't even know who they are because you can't bring them together because it's inorganic. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for giving that brotherly insight, cause I didn't know how that worked, and that's the thing. It's like I'm not going out to actually attract somebody else because I'm still married. What I am
Mhm.
realizing is that in a marriage, you're not responsible to carry your mate's emotional weight or either their just their weight, any kind of weight. Weights are bad. You got your own shit, and so in that you want to make sure that you're not in a codependent situation because that's what that
Right.
equals to. You feeling like you're carrying some extra pounds. I agree with getting to the root of it all. Shout out to Brother Uno. It sounds like a lot going on. I'm not clingy type in a relationship, but when I want to cling with a schedule, it's a problem for me. Yeah, I wouldn't want to clean with on schedule either. And that's the other thing about the sister wife. It's like, okay, so how you gonna divide all your
for
time?
for me, for me now, what I have learned over the years of being in a marriage for a long period of time is
Mm-hmm.
that when you with someone, especially when you with a woman, my job is to always treat my wife as if she's like somebody I just met. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
That
hold
means
on. Pause, 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 pause. I need you to run that back. Pause right there. Hold on. Hold
so.
on. We need a collection plate right now. And say
So
it one more time.
what I mean by that is, um, when you first start dating a woman and you showing her that you like her or you have some interest in her, the things that you do, small things, the kisses on the neck, you know what I'm saying, the holding hands, showing that, because we remember we build each other's energy, we built basically energy connected, and if we
Mm-hmm.
get a disconnect, we need to reconnect that energy together. So what I like to do is hug my wife, because sometimes we get spaced from each other. You come home, you don't really have that interaction. When you first meet, usually y'all don't live in the same facility, right? So y'all not living together. So the best way y'all can connect is when y'all see each other. The first thing you do is hold hands. You hug each other. You kiss each other. Oh, I miss you. These are things that show you that I want to connect with you. So that's what I. This is just me saying. This is how I think, how I build my relationship, keep my relationship fresh. Is that I give my wife affection just like I would if I just met her. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to court her. You know what I'm saying? Um, Schedule time with that
Hold on,
person.
brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Brother, let it breathe. So I'm gonna repeat. You said that you always touch on your wife. Touch is very important
Hmm.
because you understand that the distance gets there over time. Especially when you've been married a long time,
Hmm.
and you have to keep that. Women have to know that you still want them, that you desire them, and so yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
That connection. It's a connect thing. We as men, we don't know that we disconnect because we think we got you. Oh, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes women do it too. We in a relationship, we do the I got you, and ain't nobody else gonna get you. And if they do try to get you, I'm gonna beat them up, or I'm gonna be angry at you and her or him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's not how a functioning relationship works. You know what I'm saying? Um, Me personally, like I said, I try to connect. My wife be doing stuff like, I don't feel like being bothered. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I let the disconnect get so far.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when I start reconnecting, she realizing, oh, he connecting with me. Oh, okay, let's do this. Let's hug, let's cuddle. You know what I'm saying? My fact, my wife yesterday was like, I'm in my little man cave, and she calls me on the phone. She said, I thought we was cuddling. She said, you okay? You want to cuddle? I said, yeah, here I come. Give me a couple minutes. Even though in my mind I was like, man, I'm doing something. God damn, you know what I'm saying? But that's her reaching out, connecting. You
Absolutely.
know, connecting, and you can't ignore these signs. You can't ignore the signs. You gotta go. You gotta stop everything you're doing for your mate, and you do what you need to do to connect. That cuddle time is her connecting with you or him, or saying you saying I want to cuddle. He should realize that that's him. That's you saying I want to connect. If he say I want to cuddle, baby, let's cuddle. That's what you should be doing. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? If he get y'all out in public, he reach out and grab your hand. That's him showing you, yo, I want everybody to see that you mine. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
he might, and if he ain't doing it all the time, that's cool.
Right.
As long as that person is doing it, you know what I'm saying? And and sometimes we use our ego base, even though ego is not a bad thing. We've been taught that ego is bad. No, ego, you can be self for yourself, but sometimes you have to learn how to open that ego up to allow certain things to happen, so that way you can enjoy your ego with your partner. You know what I'm saying? Um, So, like I said, like a little things like hugging, kissing each other, and giving that positive energy to one another. You know what I'm saying? When you start doing that, connecting with that partner, all the other negative energy can't get in between y'all. You know what I'm saying? But when you
Mm-hmm.
distance from each other, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you sitting down at dinner, you know what I'm saying? Take y'all feet, y'all shoes off and touch each other's feet. You know what I'm saying? While holding hands. That's connecting. This is magnetic connection. This is what brought y'all together in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, at night when you sleep in the bed, you know what I'm saying? Throw that ass back up on him. Even if his back turned to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If he trying to rope you and try to grab you at night, snuggle with him. You know what I'm saying? These are little things that we ignore and we forget about it, and we grow so spaced apart from each other. We start picking little bitty things, and then we use these things to disconnect ourselves. And then what it does is it pulls you farther away. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
When you stop doing what you've been doing, you know, because you mad at this person, or you mad at her, or he mad at you, and y'all start putting that distance, and then they start distance each other, y'all both away from each other. Somebody got to be the bigger person sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And it also is going back to the balance. Like, even
Hmm.
if you're not being the bigger person all the time, it has to
Hmm.
become a time where you are, you know, because that brings balance in a relationship. It's like
Hmm.
nobody's perfect. So when it's your turn to be humble, be humble.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no space. You can't give it no space. This is the only time you do space is when it's a heated moment. That's when the bigger person say, "All right, I'm taking the judgment. I'm gonna walk away." And
Mm-hmm.
then you, as being the interjector, you have to be like, "All right, he or she walking away. I need to calm down while this person away, and then give y'all time to talk, and then y'all come together again. And the first thing you do is embrace each other. I'm sorry, my wife do this. We play this game all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife will be mad. We'll be mad at each other. I walks away, and that's me telling her mentally and physically, me separating and giving you time to think about what just happened, right? And then she'll call me and be like, I be tripping sometimes. I apologize. Or me, same thing. We do this to each other, and it's a
Right.
form of how we fix our problems. We give each other time. You know what I'm saying? Even though
Mm-hmm.
you be feeling like you can't, you know what I'm saying. And when I'm talking from a married man perspective. A lot of us is in relationships, and we're not married, so a lot of things we let go. We don't be attached to people in the way that we feel like we should be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us are just in a frivolous relationship. Like you, one day y'all together, next day you can't wait to get your space so you can go out and do all kind of other shit because you're attracted to all these things. You
Right.
haven't magnified each of y'all selves together to create a long life bonding relationship. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem because we out here having a relation and we not building bonding relationships.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you should be a friend with somebody for at least 6 to 9 months before y'all even engage in a sexual relationship. Now that's a hard thing to do. Now just imagine if you got 4 or 5 mates that you trying to control in that manner. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Somebody's gonna go get some nookie before that 6 to 9 months come up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's how you know that that person is not bonded to you, because they can't wait on you. If somebody can't wait on that energy to come together, and they can be friends with you, and then that way you can build that trust amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, baby, I care about you so much. I waited 6 to 9 months to have a sexual relationship, and that's an urge. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of your livelihood. Sex energy. That's a part of our livelihood for male or female, right?
Absolutely.
So for you to hold that off for that person, that's showing that I want to be in a relationship with you for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we can do this, to have this type of relationship, then we can be together forever, because we have understanding. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep in itself. But yeah.
I ain't mean to go that deep.
Well, we need it. People need to hear it, and it's like for me, when
Hmm.
you don't have that masculine, when girls don't have their father, who are we hearing this
Hmm.
from? Nobody's telling us this, and so I really
Right.
appreciate you letting us know this for everybody who here. Um,
Right.
I just can say for me, if I have to do it again, that would be something major that I need to know, and so I just
Mhm.
appreciate the information. Y'all know
Yeah,
this, like,
because now I was gonna say a lot of men play on women's the insecurities. You know what I'm saying? As a man, I know that us men, we play on women's insecurities. So
mm-hmm.
we play on the fact that we can get you, especially if you feel like you like me. If I know you like me and you like me like a lot, I can play on your insecurities. You know what I'm saying? I can play on your emotions, and I can get, you know what I'm saying? I can get you to open yourself up to me in a way where, if you haven't been taught those things, then you'll be unaware. You end up in a sexual relationship, but not in a bonding relationship with me, right? Because I
Right.
played on you, right? But when you taught, like I taught my sisters this, I told my sisters this, but they didn't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? So later on, they come in and be like, "Man, bro, you told me about this and this and that." I said, "I told you." You know what I'm saying? The power you have is your sexual energy. That's a basic power. The world is being ran by women. You know what I'm saying? It's a matriarchal world, but it's a patriarchal design. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But women are controlling this. They're actually making it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? With
Mm-hmm.
sexual energy. You know what I'm saying? And especially in our community, you know what I'm saying? Because our woman is actually the binder. She's the one controlling the narrative. But from the outside looking in, they'll think the males running this shit. But no, males ain't running this. Women, what sexual energy is running this? You know?
And you can see it because when you're looking at the amount of, what do they call it, human trafficking,
Hmm.
it's like huge, and it's because women do know that you can put a price on your pussy and
Hmm.
make a living. It's a
Hmm.
raw energy, and so definitely. And this is a
And
paper.
it's a lot of. It's not to cut. Sorry to cut you off, sis.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say a lot of women are the traffickers. A lot of people don't understand. It's like it's a male traffickers, but women are the main, because women trust other women, right? You make yourself vulnerable because you open yourself up to a certain women. You know what I'm saying? And women, like back in the day, women used to set up dudes. Like they used to set dudes up. So a dude, you meet a chick, and then she find out all she know about him, but really she engaged in a whole another relationship. Whole that pimp and whole relationship. That's a
Mhm.
setup. That's setting a John up. So somebody that's intrigued by a woman's physique and her mentality, he might open himself up to her, and then now all of a sudden he getting jacked by some other dudes, but he don't know that the woman is the one that set it up the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And a lot of women are falling for that nowadays because they dress in a certain way, and a lot of that imagery is coming from other women that say, "Hey, get out here and get your money." You know what I'm saying? And when you get out here and open yourself up, she look the women prey on that. So they like, oh, especially a lot of women that's intrigued by, this new age sexual exploitation with, being lesbians and bisexual and all that stuff, right?
Mhm.
So, we seen that in the movies Players Club,
Yeah, feel
you
free to
know.
hop on. And I like Players Club. Feel free to hop on. I'm gonna share the link in, but Ranchella, please put your first name in the box, girl, because I be having a hard time messing up people's names. I agree it takes that much time at least to know someone, what their likes or dislikes are. The world has taken the beauty out of our relating to each other by making it all
Mhm.
just physical. Yeah, I totally agree. Um, and we are physical beings. I mean, if you raise in a vibration of the root chakra, you do lead with sex. Like I say, if you are
Mhm.
growing up in a home that doesn't have that masculine energy teaching and guiding, you think that that's what you lead with because women relate feelings and vagina in the same paradigm. And so a lot of us went through childhood um, giving our bodies to people that we thought loved us. And then we then operate in, oh, well, instead of being hurt, I can just monetize it. And so then you see the women who
Mhm.
out here saying this long list of things that dudes have to do for them in order to even be in a relationship. Rachel, okay. So it's the cause and effect. You can see it everywhere. And that's why we're gonna read the Kabbalion so that we are not swayed by any of it. Um, this book for me, like I said, Brother Uno, you read the Kabbalion as well. It's a
The
good
all, the all is everything.
book, right?
Once you understand the all, man, powerful book, powerful book.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
And ironically,
And it
then,
will let
go ahead.
what you say?
No, go ahead.
Now I'm saying that the book itself, it lets you the things that for me, when I read that, all the little small things that I thought mattered don't matter no more because I'm realizing everything is um a part of one big experience. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like it changed my way of looking at the world, period. You know, and the principles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
so I have a friend that was on here listening, and so he texted BS. I don't know what part was BS, but I was asking why he didn't just hop on because we open to different point of views here. It's just me and Brother Uno are speaking from our personal experiences, and so we are a respecter that everybody's experiences are different, and
right,
wisdom goes by the experience. It's like get into the end goal. You might have taken a different route, but you got to the end goal. And then our understanding that we understand of ourselves individually and in our relationship, um, it's trial and error. It's what we're experiencing. And so this platform, it's not a right or wrong thing. But if you want to share your own personal insight, feel free to hop on. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I also learned in astrology that you should go through the whole zodiac wheel when you're dating someone, and you would start here and you would go around because Aries would be when you meet that person, and Taurus is when you would be discussing with them um their possessions, what's important to them, or what possessions they are trying to acquire, their plans, their life plans, what the things they value. And so in that makes sense because at the end of this cycle, which is 12 months, you would know whether or not you should proceed with that person instead of getting somewhere because you jumped around and realizing it just ain't gonna work. And that be after you already all the way in. And so you're absolutely correct. You were saying 9 months, 12 is better. And the longer you wait to, get physical, the better. Because you seeing that person in different seasons. This is 4 seasons. That's what the zodiac is.
Right. So you're gonna see the up and downs in the person's actions based on the seasons.
Right.
See, um, people change over the time. Like you can meet somebody, and um, when you first meet them, they cool and all that, right? And then when you get to know them, they have changed into a whole nother person. You find out all the things that they had hidden. So you only can hide things for a certain amount of time. Certain seasons open up things for you to be revealed to you. You know what I'm saying? In your time. So when you be with somebody, you see the seasons change in that person, the seasons changing inside of that person. So they open, you start seeing the doors open to their life. So in a 9 month period of time, you start seeing the good and the bad of that person. You start seeing, hey, they don't like to clean their house. They don't like to do this. They don't like to do that. Or they got this quality, that quality. I didn't know this person was that smart. I didn't know this I didn't know they liked this type of music. I didn't do, you find things in a person when you start accepting the things that you want to accept, and then you start disliking the things that you want to dislike. And then that way you can make a firm decision. Either this person can continue to be my friend, or this person is a potential partner for me for the next lifetime. This is where I'm looking for. I'm looking for a life partner, not somebody that's just somebody I have a sexual relationship with. And that's how our mentalities are based on when we get involved and we meet people at the club and you know what I'm saying? You don't look for a life partner. You look like somebody you want to get up with and have a sexual encounter with instead of
Okay.
somebody that you want to bond with for life.
Right. So Rachel said the longer you wait, the more you see. Also, my homeboy that hopped off, I'm gonna read this message on here. Now he said, he totally disagrees. He says as individuals, we are constantly evolving, but you make a lifelong commitment at a specific time. That commitment doesn't stop that person's evolution, which means that commitment has to be based on something other than who that person was at the time of the commitment. So it's really simple. You made a lifelong promise. You just keep your promise, just like his grandmother and grandfather. And so he was speaking in terms of marriage. For me, um, I just want to go from my experience. My grandmama and granddaddy did stay married, but they lived in separate households. And so
See?
that's something totally different. And not just that, um, when she got with him, she was like 11. That's when they were having children very young. They had a whole bunch of children. And so she did evolve and she removed herself from what was being constrictive to her. Now, it was the best grandma I ever had. That might not be your experience if you was to meet her and you didn't have what I had with her. And so for me, she did what was best for her. You can keep your promise, and if you're gonna keep it on paper, fine. But you have to do what's healthy and what feels good as far as your heart is concerned. And like I said, it goes back to if you are with somebody and it's codependent to where it turns into you carrying the weight or them carrying the weight and it doesn't feel good to either party, but you keep carrying it because you feel like, oh, well, if I don't, this gloom and doom or something good, whatever, you know. And so for me,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with that lighter energy. But I respect his opinion. Like I said, we are here. Everybody got a different experience. I'm
Hmm.
and he said for himself personally, he's not totally
Right.
satisfied in his marriage, but he's still gonna keep his promise. So what you think about that, brother?
Well, first things first is it's that was a decision he's making for his personal. And then, like you said, you just made a comparison. You said my grandmother and my grandfather uh, were in a relationship. They were married and they were bonded, but um, at a particular time, grandma and grandpa met when grandma was 11 years old. So now we in the age that we're in. Now people build relationships in their later ages. So that means you don't start a relationship until you did almost 25, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the evolving there. That shows that we are evolving. It's giving people more time to figure out what decisions they want to make in a firm decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're 25. Basically, in a 25 span, that's basically a decision. Most of us, we don't be in a relationship until we about 25, 24,
I
a
was
firm
30,
relationship.
30 something.
30 or 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of it's evolving even more because a lot of people in the newer age are starting to get in bonded relationships when they 35. They 35, almost 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And it's a good
um,
time because we are the people that have gotten all the wildness out. And so we can actually get in
mm,
those relationships and hold the ship down. Some of y'all go
mhm,
too early into a relationship and then
right.
you still got that wild in you that you never got off. And so, um, like I said, it's to each his own, but that's the experience of me. I personally never had a real relationship until I was in here. My marriage is my longest relationship. Okay. And so, yeah,
Was you
we
looking
all
for that? Was you was you looking for a bond mate during that time period?
no, I wasn't looking for a baby or a bun mate. Okay, I was not.
You wasn't.
No.
Did you have an idea of that's what you wanted?
Yeah, I
Meaning,
wrote it
what I
down.
mean by that,
I wrote it down when I was younger. It was a definite, detailed intention. But when I
hmm
moved to Texas, that's absolutely not what I thought I was doing here. And so, yeah. And
uh,
honestly, I
not,
think,
not, 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 not. Let me ask you this:
okay.
was it after you met him that you might have had that type of mindset? After you met him?
Well, I mean, he had that mindset. He said he wanted a wife. And so
Mhm.
I couldn't be like, oh, how long is the dude gonna be like, well, I want a wife, and then you like, well, I'm not really looking for that. And so it's like, well, do I decide this is it or not? Because this is where he is. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, all that. But I just
That's
want to say we are
interesting.
not our grandparents. We don't. Sometimes we held on to promises. You say keep your promise, yes, but sometimes the promises were toxic, and that's the
Mhm.
thing. Like sometimes you try to keep your promise can really affect you in a way. And we only have so much time on this earth. That's another thing. Me personally, my time on this earth, I want to be happy. Now, if you want to spend
Right.
yours, you know, connected to somebody for forever because you made a promise, like you say, people evolve. And so, who I am today, I just want to be happy and peace. And I want affection. Like you said, we're going back to the affection. When you said you make sure you constantly are touching your wife to keep that connection
Mhm.
there, that's something very simple to ask of anybody. And so,
Right. You run, you walk, she walked past. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing for the woman. If y'all in the house and y'all start having this distance, little things like, when a person walk past, you give them a hug or a kiss, or I don't give a fuck if you see them 4 or 5 times in the hour. But infection is the most important thing. Grab a little ass, you know what I'm saying? Touch a little wee wee if you got to, you know what I'm saying? show that sexual energy is a part of the connection and to
Yeah.
pull y'all together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, you know, taking a shower. If you know your mate finna get in the shower, you know what I'm saying? Get your ass in the shower too. You know, wash the back person's back. Do this. These are things you do to keep things tight. You do everything ever. If I gotta be in the shower with you, if you gotta wash your ass, we gonna wash our ass together. Everything we gonna do, we're gonna do together. And part my French, please. But that's this is what I mean by rebonding, redoing things. Now a lot of people don't know nothing about this because, like I said, they don't find a bonding, they don't find a mate to be bonded with because they haven't got to that point yet. But when you're in a relationship with somebody, this is how you keep the bond there. You do the smallest things is what you do to create that bond. You know, showering together. You know what I'm saying? Don't go in there while a person is taking a dump though. That's kind of like overwhelming. Because I hated when my wife come in the bathroom when I have a conversation when I'm using the bathroom. I'm like, yo, give me some of that me time. Give me some of that me time right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, but most people understand what I'm getting at when I'm saying this. I'm saying it to get people to see this is where we build. This is what we lost as a community. We don't have this in the household. So when you got little kid, and I don't care if your son or daughter is not your partner's child, your child still need to see affection. You need to learn how to build a good relationship. So the actions that you have to always be engaged with your partner instead of them seeing y'all arguing or bickering or he take off and he gone for 2 days or 3 days because you put him out. That's bad because your child gonna learn a bad habit, especially young boys and young girls for one, because she's gonna start accepting certain things that she gonna start thinking that's to accept. You know what I'm saying? The arguments and him taking off, and then he go out and have a baby by another child, and then you gotta accept that. No, we need to stop all this, and we need to start building those tight net relationships. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, you gotta put everything into the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about as a person, as you, because like I said, in order for you to know that this person is going to be with you and you're going to be with them, you have to take all precautions and all actions to make sure it works. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be the most freakiest person. It's all engagement. All you have to do is engage in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Talk to a person, look at them in their eyes. Like I said, when you first meet them, my wife is shorter than me. I'm 6'3", right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I look at my wife, I'm looking at my wife in her eyes. I'm looking down in her eyes. When I give her a hug, I'm looking at her in her eyes. She's looking at me in my eyes. That's bonding. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, holding hands, all the things that you do to bond in the eyes. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
The crazy thing is she calling me right now.
you.
You know what I'm
She can
saying?
feel
So,
that connection.
but I just want to make that known that the importance of bonding with your mate is just all those things. If you let space get in between, somebody else can slip in. And then what I mean somebody else is the idea that somebody else can replace you is there. You know what I'm saying? The
But
imagery start coming in. You see a
but
woman, I can see another woman and she can be attractive. And then now I got in my mind and magnify another woman in place of that person. You see?
mm-hmm.
So I can't allow that imagery to get in my head or in your mate's head. Can you
Or
hear me?
in, you said or in the who?
Or in your mate's head. Like for your mate to start thinking like that. Like
Yeah,
she go
yeah.
out, she might go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? It might be a guy at the gym that was attractive to her, you know? And now since you got so much open distance between y'all two, that imagery started becoming something that she interested in. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Put it like this: when you're in a relationship, nobody else looks. Nobody, you can't see nobody else in your peripheral. Nobody else can come in the when you first meet a woman, or I know when a woman meet a man, when she like a dude, all them other dudes don't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
what you got to do. You got to refocus that focus and get you back in focus with that person, so they can't see nobody else but you. You know what I'm saying?
And if you can't do
No matter
that,
how much you feel like your how you feel about yourself, your insecurities, that's why your partner is there. Your partner is there to focus on you and make you feel like that's you are the most beautiful person in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's what matters. Because when you got that peripheral view and your focus is on that person, nobody else is more beautiful than the person's in your view, you know?
right, right.
So that's the most important thing. That's why when you stand up and y'all make those vows, y'all stand looking at each other. It's a lot of people in the room, but most of the time, you looking dead in that person's face and eyes and making those particular vows. And what I mean by that is it doesn't matter if y'all got on paper. It's the bond that y'all building while y'all looking at each other. And that can be if when the engagement happened, when you finally said, yo, I want to be with you. These are engagements. These are contracts we bonded with each other. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
It's
what I'm
on a
saying.
soul level. Huh?
Everything ain't the same for everybody. Because for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's just not what the experience was. I feel like a lot of people when you get married, they get married. I'm sorry, Pharaoh digging in his closet. I can hear it. When you get married, it comes from a sense of you dating, like you said, for a while, and then building a bond. I got married because number one, we were having a baby, and our discussion was not, oh, we love each other. It was okay. So if we're having a baby, dude, you mind the baby having my last name because my dad is the last on his side. You know what I'm saying? And so he didn't want that. And he had already expressed that he wanted to be married. So I'm like, okay, well, we might as well. Um, that's not ideal. Ideally, people get married because, like I say, they've gotten to know each other and eventually they make a commitment. But some people marry strangers, and so it just depends on the experience.
Right.
Um,
And we fix with that's where and it's not saying that what happened is that you actually made a decision based on what you felt was best at the moment.
hmm
You didn't like you said you didn't have the intent to make a bond. You had intent to be in a relationship with somebody. Um, rather that's physical or mental, right? And not be in a bonded relationship with that person until certain incidents happen that come along with those things. You know what I'm saying?
hmm hmm
And now, since you in that situation, we have to learn how to do the problem solving. You know what I'm saying? And the problem solving is um, building that together with your mate. Um, it's going to be a hard struggle because it wasn't the bond wasn't there in the beginning. You know, so now you have to figure out the problem solving when it comes to that. Because if that's the case, we just getting in marriages and we find these things to be so hard. But that's what a relationship is based on: building that energy, building that positivity, bonding with that person for life. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
I just want to say it's okay to change your mind and back
Yeah,
out.
that too, that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
If it's affecting you in a way where you need time off, you know what I'm saying? You can take time off. That's nothing.
Well, it's not
But
that. It's just I feel like on one hand, if you did date and it was long drawn out, y'all got to know each other, it's one thing. But
mhm,
a lot of us associate divorce with shame and failure, and so we'll stay and stay and stay. And to me, time is the most precious commodity. And so I don't want to spend a lot of my time because that is my energy going
Mhm.
out into where I'm not my best self. And so if you didn't do like you said, you and your wife, y'all met, y'all got to know each other, right? How long did y'all know each other before you got married?
Oh, long time. We only been married for 9, 10 years, 9, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
but we've been together for over 20 some years.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So y'all rode that road differently. Um,
right,
Sometimes if you marry somebody you don't know, strangers, we
right.
both were bonding because Texas was something new. He's from here, I'm not,
Hmm.
but we kind of had each other back on that journey because he was being reintroduced to the world, and it was a new place for me. And so we held it down on that level. Like I said, we have tried to keep the connection alive in different ways.
Mm,
It's just we didn't have that original bond, and so
right.
even
Uh,
in reading the book, I was when we read the four archetypes of a male. One said that in general males have people that they have let in, and it's a certain type of male they you'll never get let in like ever because that's just not how they grew up. Some males are like family first. Some homeboys they still hang with from elementary school. You know, different setups. And
hmm.
so in that, when new people come in, you have to prove yourself, and that's why getting to know that person and the time is important because
Right.
then you get to decide whether or not you're gonna let that person in. When you don't have that though, that's different. And so I just say yes. I love relationships. I knew I was gonna be married from when I was a little girl,
Mm,
but the details do matter.
right.
Um, to the ladies, like I said, a lot of women will spend a lot of time in some toxic situations because they don't want to feel like they failed at something. Or
Mm,
we are time clock oriented too. And this was me. We feel like we only got a certain amount of eggs, so we have to hurry up and get those eggs fertilized.
right.
And that might just be a Sag thing. I don't know. My homegirl, we discussed that recently, and so she's a Sag too. But just having
Mm,
a time clock, a ticking clock, men could be 80 and still have a baby. But women, we operate on the cycles and the clocks. You only get
right.
so many. And so that too can have you settling. When I look back at it, it's like, did I not settle, but did I set an intention to have a baby? And that was so strong that it overread the details. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think maybe what the problem was that you didn't make the decision for the relationship. See, one thing about like we said, it's a matriarchic world. The women run the world, right? She chooses her mate. In the animal kingdom, the woman chooses who's best for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you thought you made a bad decision, but at the time you actually was making a good decision based on your instinct. You don't know you was making a good instinctive move, but at the time you did. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
I'm not saying it was a bad decision. I'm just
Right.
saying, did I let my want for a baby so bad override the other stuff? And because you manifesting this, I've always wanted a child. And so,
Right.
in the moment of just saying, you know what, even if I don't, I'm okay. That's when I got it. That's when I got my baby. And
Right.
so, it wasn't a bad decision, but it's like when you're talking manifestation and you drawing something to you, you have to be ready. I was not ready to have a baby when I first moved here. I had just got a place, and so I was moving here. It was a more so a career move than anything. But of course, you go place, you're gonna have fun, and you know.
Right.
But just coming from that place, like, did I let my want for a baby because it still was risky behavior? Let's keep it real. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. We had a baby on the
Dudes
way.
make dudes make those risks too, and
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
do that, they make the risk that they might not want a baby, and then end
right,
up with one. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So it happened. It happened based on, like you said, your manifestations
Yeah,
happen
and
in a
that's what
way
I'm saying.
where nature took its course, where it made the decision for you. It put you in these positions where you
It sure did.
yeah. So it put you it put you in these positions. It put you in those positions where it made choices for you.
Woo.
Sometimes sometimes people are best for you more than you think they are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's a lot of people that got children by other people, and then they find a mate afterwards, and they be like, "Damn, this person I really should have been with in the beginning." But no, it was meant for that person to bond with somebody else in
Well, it
order
was
to get.
good because it was protection. Women want to be protected. If I'm not from here,
Mhm,
and why not? I'm here
right,
by myself. You single, I'm single. It wasn't a catastrophe. We enjoyed every beginning moment, but at the same time, it was a moment in time. So when I think back, because now I am into manifestations, and so when you talk about if you want a husband, women when they're young, they write this stuff down. And so if I'm looking specifically at that intention set in paper and
mhm,
I manifest it, I'm just always going to be self analyzing that Gemini moon, thinking, what details did I miss? And so that's the thing, it's the details. Just like you said, getting to know
mhm.
somebody
In the
9 to
beginning.
12 months. Yeah. And so
Mhm.
that matters. It's never a catastrophe. It's not nothing you can avoid. The universe is going to bring you to where you need to be. The universe,
And
when
it's
you
funny
say,
because that's how our relationship actually started. I met my wife, and she told me she didn't like me. She was like, I don't like you. Too many women be on you. I don't like you. And I said, yo, give me some time. I'm good. I'm a good dude. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like we were saying, nature took its course, and we had
mm-hmm,
kind of stopped talking to each other. We was trying to talk on the phone, but we wasn't meeting up, going out to hang out like that.
mm-hmm,
And um, we met at the time. I was younger. I was going out to the clubs and stuff like that. So I seen her at the club. She happened to be at the same place I was at, and her friend was digging me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, your girl don't want me, so I guess you know what I'm saying. But it's the fact that she told my mom that she said that the fact that I didn't give up, I kept trying to pursue her. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? And that's what let her to
Brother,
know
on
that,
the
huh?
pause, pause. Yeah, we're going to pass the collision plate. That right there is the pursuing. You have to pursue the whole time, period. The whole
Mm-hmm.
time. It don't stop. However you get to the point of marriage, when you're in it or a relationship, it's the pursuing. It
Right,
never cease. And so if women get to a point where they feel like they're not being pursued at home, yes, it introduces the opportunity to see who's gonna be consistent with the pursuing. And that's it. Some people
right.
get married and they feel like they got you and they don't have to pursue no more. And that's just not the case.
And we build insecurities among each other, especially when you grow
Mm-hmm.
old with somebody. The older you get, for every 5 years, your uh your looks change. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then my wife, she not the same person I'm talking about when I seen her. So that persuasion she's not the same person as
Mm-hmm.
physical, but mentally she's the same person. So I gotta pursue that person in her that I was pursuing from the beginning. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And she like, my wife ought to be like, I need to lose some of this weight. I'd be like, shit, look good on you. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I have to encourage that to her to let her know, no matter how you look, I I think you look the same and you look beautiful to me. Now, all these rest of these people, and she says things like, I need to do it for myself. That's when I step back. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you need to do it for yourself. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for you doing it for yourself, I need to support you on your journey for you doing it for yourself. So if that means I gotta get out there and do some push-ups and encourage you to go to the gym, these are things that you want to do for yourself. I have to be your partner on everything. That's like I said, just like going getting in the shower with your mate. It's like holding them hands, doing everything that you have as a partner to make that person stronger. You have to do. My wife do it to me all the time. She walk up to me and be like, "You a handsome dude." You know what I'm saying? And I have to be like, "Yeah, I guess." You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's the encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Don't we wait for other people to do it for us. We wait for people on the streets to tell your woman or your dude, yo, you can find a motherfucker. I
Right,
need what's up
right.
with you? You got a partner? And then that self-confidence start coming from somebody else. Now you looking
Absolutely.
right. So now your mate don't even matter no more. Because hey, I'm getting it out here. I'm getting it out
Well,
here.
I don't know. I just know
Yeah.
it has to come, and then women, we also a creature. We need to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We know men do too, but not like
No, definitely dudes do too.
yeah.
Don't let that shit fool you. I'm telling you, for the women that's listening, you need to tell your man what you love about him, and you need to encourage the things that you think that that will cater to his damn ego. You need to do that shit.
I
Telling you
tell I
because
tell Ray all the time how handsome he is, and I
right,
anybody I talk to, I tell you, brother Uno is
right,
a handsome specimen. His wife is a lucky woman.
right.
We
Same thing
have
for
to
you, sis. And it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, but what if I'm neglected? What
thank
if
you.
I'm neglected from that at home?
Right,
Then
right.
now that you like me, that's what
Mm-hmm,
you start getting from out the outside world. Oh, you like
mm-hmm,
me? Oh, I'm
mm-hmm.
waiting on somebody to like me. So now you cater into that, and you eager to look lust for that love or that thing that you're not getting at home, and that becomes something that might be a problem for you in a later day. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, babies can come about this. You know, uh, uh, your mate finds out that you've been sleeping around or talking to somebody on the phone, and then it might even be in a sexual relationship. Y'all might just be, uh, you know, flirting with each other over the phone. You know what I'm saying? Now, what does that do to your partner's insecurities and ego? And you love this person. Now all of a sudden, now y'all trust gone. Now the relationship is now in a fucking frenzy. See, so that's why it's important to cater to your mate because if you don't do it, somebody else come in front, and then they might pursue that person, or your mate might be trying to pursue that person based on what they told them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now that might cause an issue. Like I said, you might love your mate and everything, but just talking on the phone to another motherfucker can cause issues.
I was my other homeboy. He was saying our community was stronger when we kept our family commitments. Our
Mm-hmm.
community is weaker when we break those family commitments. It's not difficult to understand when our
Mm-hmm.
current social status is a direct result of people not keeping their family commitment.
Facts.
Mm,
Facts. You know what your job is. We all know when we in a relationship, we know what our jobs are. You know what I'm saying? We know what we need to do to make things better. We can make a relationship bad. We know how to do this. You know what I'm saying? We know how to make our mate feel like they're on top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Living in heaven. We know what to do.
he's so funny.
I'm just saying in general, like
Not on top of the
our
mountain.
actions speak loud. We don't follow through a lot of times because then
The
we get to making
consistency.
judgment for ourselves and don't know it might be affecting our mate. You
We
can be
was
mad
pulling
at
that
your
card. It's the consistency. It's not just doing it because you
Mhm.
anybody can just do it, but it's staying
Right.
consistent with it. And so your relationship, you still have to be consistent. You can't get too relaxed or comfortable
Hmm.
because it's just not gonna work. And like I say, the other option is you stay and you do stuff on the outside of relationship. I know a lot of people that do that too. I just figure I would rather have that full time, And that's why I say, everybody different. Me personally, I do understand that when we kept our family commitments, we were stronger, but we also the community of people that protected pedophiles in the family, and they
Mm.
molested generations of children because we kept that
Right,
quiet. We protected the
right,
pedophiles too, and so
right.
um, we did that because of family commitments. We can't keep acting like we don't know cause and effect. Yes, commit, but it still has to be a good fit. And then in the fit, it's just like we the people that keep these commitments, just like the one no snitches. This is something that's so common, and what that led to was a bunch of criminals running around, and we keeping a family commitment, so we let them tear down the community as well. That affect the community.
Sure do.
It do, it do, and so I don't know. I don't know about just doing all this stuff because we've been doing it. What I do know is in order to make a change, you can't keep doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then history repeats itself when you don't look back to see what was the issue. And that's the thing. It's just like I get it. I'm pro family. Everybody know that. When I think about not having my family, it saddens me. It's not a thing, but you have to do what's also mentally healthy. Is that you or no?
Yeah, that's my other phone. That's my wife calling. I'm gonna take this call, but
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna be
Yeah, I got
listening from a distance, and I really value and appreciate you, sister. And
it.
you already know, like you know what I'm saying. That I don't. We need to. We have to have friends that we can talk to
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
get an understanding, and let people listen in on just a normal conversation. Ain't no antics, ain't no extra to it.
Right,
It's just we real people having real dialogue about real life stuff.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Real experiences.
Real experiences. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Okay, I
yep.
appreciate you too. And I'm gonna keep going. I still gotta pull the cards and stuff.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
Go ahead. I'm on the other side. I'll be listening.
Okay. All right.
All
Peace.
right.
Appreciate you. Okay, so we still gonna pull the cards. But yeah, it's just for me, considering everybody has a different chart makeup, this is just my personal experience. I'm a Gemini moon. Um, that is the thought in the back and forth. You have to find stability somewhere. I feel like women, there's no back and forth when there's no room for the woman to have to try to interpret. Okay. Um when things are just clear. And so like Brother Uno was saying, touch makes things very clear. There's no going around it. Y'all gonna have to wait though. I'm finna go use the restroom. I've been holding it, and so give me a minute, and then we're gonna pull the cards. All right, I am back. I'm Mike. All right, so we're gonna go to the cards. We're gonna ask the cards, the energy. Sorry, I gotta get back adjusted. We're gonna ask the cards. Um, what the energy is for today. Me and brother Uno always talk relationships. We always talk about everything though, but we work relationships into that dialogue because we both are in relationships, and there's nothing like talking to a friend, keeping it real. All right, so I'm shuffling. I appreciate anybody that'll hop on too. Brother Uno, we be all on Instagram with it. We go over there, set Instagram on fire a little bit, and then come on back over here to YouTube. All right, so don't forget to share, subscribe, and like. We are going to pull the card. I'm going to pull 4 cards and go by what the energy is clarifying when it comes to today. We're talking about astrology and making a decision. My homegirl, shout out to Jennifer. She was telling me that the placements is just having a hard time with a decision that was made and being okay with it. I'm like, yeah, because we've been pulling swords for like 2 weeks now. Okay. So we're gonna pull the tarot first, of course. The Justice card. So let's see what the Justice. See. Where's the booklet? The plant is the dianthus. And we pulled number 11, the Justice card. We just to my Gemini, the 11 came right back up. So the Justice card. So the meaning of the Justice card, the dianthus, which is the flower, it's the flower of Zeus. So justice is a symbol of constancy, since even when dried, it often retains its color. According to the legend, while hunting, Artemis, aiming at the prey, noticed a young shepherd who did not take his eyes off her. He noticed a young shepherd who did not take his eyes off her unearthly beauty, despite all the prohibitions. Prohibitions. Hold on, y'all. Prohibitions. So funny. Okay. So I guess those prohibitions in place and the shepherd was still looking. So for disobedience, the young man faced death. But the nymphs felt sorry for the young man and they began to ask the goddess not to kill him. Artemis did not kill the shepherd, but came up with another punishment. She turned the eyes of the shepherd into carnations. In ancient Rome, carnations were known as flowers for winners. In the Renaissance, the red carnation was a symbol of love. In France, it personified the revolution. The people struggle for justice and their rights. In modern traditions, the carnation appears as a flower of fire and struggle. And so the classic meaning of this card is the law, rules or regulations, something we was talking about earlier. Um, rules, regulations, divorce, breakdown of relations, the letter of the law, balance, the prevalence of law over morality, and solving issues in court, interaction with the law, and official relations. And so, if that relates to you, that is the Justice card, number 11. Now, the description of the created story, the card depicts a bright red carnation flower. Its buds are symmetrically located on both sides. They symbolize the columns from the classic card with grayish green stems and thin leaves. The creative plot is associated with justice, balance, and harmony. The background of the card is yellow because the original card in the background, there is the sun, the throne of the goddess of justice. Okay, so I can see that looking like a throne. Um, the classic description of the card, just balance. Like I said, the number 11. Balancing it all out, law over morality. Now my homeboy, he was saying, keep your commitments. That's law over morality, right? You signed up for it. I think that's a good example. I don't know. Solving issues in court though. Coming amongst your peers. That's what the court system is supposed to be. They're supposed to get 12 people of your peers from your community and explain to them. And that's what me and Brother Uno do. We relate. Like I said, we talk about everything. And we've had a long standing friendship because we can talk about everything and we agree to disagree sometimes. And we just move forward. We respect that everybody's experience is different. And so that's what it's about, the justice. What do your peers say? This morning I was on some let me self-evaluate. So I want to know what people think of, from their experience with me. And what's a memorable experience? What do they remember me by? And so it's just shine a light on self. Um, Weighing the options. The justice is the scales. It's also Libra. Brother Uno is a Libra, and we were talking to him about relationships. Libra is relationships. And so I love it. The tarot is always on point, even though it might not bring the best of news or it might not relate to everybody in a good way. It still brings the truth. That's the thing about the tarot. So we pulled the Justice card, which is also the carnation flower, the flower of Zeus. Let's keep pushing, y'all. We're going to get the decks, and we're just going to read the introduction today for the Kabbalion. It's time to read the Kabbalion again. The Kabbalion will get you out of your head because it's really just the law of nature. How are you engaged with your environment? Yes, I need to stick to Old Faithful. So we're going to pull the Oracle card. Excuse me. Just to see. Sometimes the Oracle is just a little more clear. I'm sorry I ain't put these comments up. Brother Uno said facts, and then Rachel said, "Oh yes, we do know what to do. You know what to do. Nobody should have to tell you what to do." And y'all know Sagittarius debate. I was just thinking like, ain't nothing like a little healthy debate. That's what it is. Different people, different experiences, different points of view. Especially this going back in here. We pulled his already last week. The feed card. Maybe we didn't get the message. Let's go back. Okay, so the feed. Plants give us oxygen for the soul. No, plants give us oxygen for the lungs and for the soul. Okay, so the feed, it will show you can and should look at what you have and what is going on with new eyes. Every single day gives us all the chance of a fresh beginning, but you will need to jump up and work for it. New life experiences are an offer and clarity. Yeah. New life experiences are on offer and clarity will shine upon opportunities as well. Someone may be able Someone may be about to bring trouble to your spirit. So make sure you protect yourself. So that's what the fig is in the picture is a snake. I was talking about the Kundalini energy, um, just building up. And so maybe a major event. Taurus is possessions. Um, let's see. Although fig trees do best in warm, dry to even humid environments, they are rather adaptable to many other climates and can be planted in shelter, though sunny spots throughout the year. They are easy care, deciduous fruit trees that rarely require pruning and are self-fertile. Once established, are frost tolerant. So once they get in the ground, the frost don't bother them. You will need a soil that is rich but still very well draining. Harvest when the fruit is soft, as it will not ripen once picked. So the magical correspondences is divination, those pulling out cards, fertility, love, safe travel, and longevity. The deities is Isis, Dionysus, Juno, and the Asparus and Bacchus. Celestial Jupiter and astrological sign Taurus. So yeah, that's the number 5 too. At 32. So we pulled it last week. The fertilization, being fertile. That's why I say you have to plant stuff on fertile ground too. There's a lot of stuff that we learned. Our grandmas used to say, well, I guess my grandma. I also say don't put all your eggs in one basket, okay? Not a good way to go. That joke was so funny. That man said, I found me a plan B. I was like, oh, okay. He said he wasn't putting all his eggs in one basket. No way. He had a backup plan. You pulled this. Yeah. Well, not twice. I did pull the feet last week though. And so, and look at what you have for new eyes. I'm a Sag, so we'll try everything. It's just once we get tired of trying, then that be that on that. Sagittarius, I see we are the new eyes. That's why my cards always be relatable to me. Even though I'm pulling for the energy and hoping that y'all relate to. Um, it's relatable. Jupiter as well. And so, yeah, we're going to, and I'm shuffling around there. We're going to pull another tarot. This tarot is good because it's teaching us the history as well of our own so-called, or what you would call saints. A lot of the history we hear all these saints, they be Caucasian. Is the saints and stuff that we know have to do with the colonists, and so that's why this deck is good. And if you don't want shovels beautifully. Okay, so and I this is just random, but Tasha K will say, well, y'all can go see the interview. There's this melanated family, and the father was sleeping with his daughters. He got a couple of the daughters pregnant. Um, they stayed married because of family commitments. The wife even found out, and is still there to this day. And so now a couple of the daughters are speaking out. But I say all that to say, that's just on the worst end. But sometimes commitments need to be reevaluated. Just sometimes. They protected him, and over the years, he had more victims. My homeboy said, pedophiles used to come up missing back in the day. And so, I don't know. Nine of Knives. It ain't a sword, but it's a knife. Yes, it was a good interview. It was the daughters, and they even shared how the mom came out and caught him, and she somehow went on back to her room and went to bed, and the next day didn't say anything about it. And so, I don't know. What is it? Y'all, I was gonna say, did I put the card up? So we pulled a Nine of Knives. The Nine of Knives. The plant will be the lavender plant. The image is a screaming skull. It's surrounded by 9 peaches with knives stuck through them. This symbolizes the troubled spirits of the approximately 20,000 newly emancipated slaves who were placed in concentration camps in Natchez, Mississippi. The majority of the men, women, and children died a slow, agonizing death from disease or starvation. The camp was located at the bottom of a pit, which where wild peaches grew. That's why this place came to be known as the Devil's Punch Bowl. To this day, no one eats the peaches because they know the bodies of those tortured people fertilize the soil. It was not custom of indigenous people to eat anything that grew in areas were considered beset with negative energy, such as this. because the despair would be internalized by whoever partook of such foods. Makes me wonder, are they right now taking peaches from the devil's punch bowl and selling them to the public? But anyway, the meaning, a positive meaning, would be renewed hope, the end of suffering, the worst being over, good news, seeking help for depression and anxieties, and letting go. That's it. Negative anxieties, stress, despair, sleepless nights, worst fears coming true, guilt, bereavement, worry, depression, nightmares, being too hard on yourself, terror, shameful secrets, isolations, hexes, agonizing pain, regrets, hopelessness, negativity, illness, spite, breakdowns, thoughts of suicide, seclusion, repeatedly rehashing an unpleasant situation, and crying jacks. And so it means all that. This is a visual. And I didn't even notice those was peaches, that the knives. Okay, so I'm just trying to think. We was pulling this. What are the knives? Are the knives the swords? Yep. So we still pulling swords. This is a new deck, so um the knives are swords. Yeah, I had some watermelon with some basil from my little herb garden, and it was so delicious. Just wanted to share that. So making decisions. Making decisions. Um these were people who suffered a horrible death, but the meaning of the card is renewed hope. The end of suffering, the worst being over. Good news, seeking help for depression, anxieties, and also having the ability to let go. Um, the goal is that your heart will be light as a feather when your journey is over. And so, that's my motto, staying light. You know, that's my own little life, staying light, staying light, doing what makes and brings you joy, and living in that truth. I think Westerns came in and they brought their structures, and I think it through our natural way of being off balance, and then we got stuck in holding on to those unnatural way of things. I'm drinking my minerals, y'all. Drink your minerals. Okay, so I had to turn on the fan. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna pull from this card. That was gonna bring me a piece of fruit. Hold on. Thank you so much.
Anything else?
No, thank you. I would enjoy a cold water. You asked if it was anything else.
I wish I never said
Oh no! You see how you do, man? Hold up, y'all. I'm just trying to get him back out of here, but I needed a water. And these nectarines were so sweet. Okay, so exactly 100. Yes, it did. Then we fell because of the trap set for them. Yeah, I just don't think it's natural. I don't. Mm. So I'm gonna put a card. I ain't gonna make y'all suffer through hearing me eat my net ring. So the card we pulled was the moose card. And once I get my water, I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on. So the moose has everything to do with letting your head and mind reach the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul, and the ancestors speak through you, so you know much. Y'all better listen. Hmm. I had some bring me a cold water. He done went on by his life. Okay. Um. We're gonna look up what the moose mean, and then we're gonna move forward. Let me see. LM. This was a really sweet bag of net rings. The moose. The moose has to deal with your accomplishments, opportunities, self-esteem, worthiness, greatness, majesty, wisdom from the elders, instinct, honor, longevity, and steadfastness, and also being fearless. Mm. I don't know why they keep popping on. The moose is a powerful totem. It is a unique energy with many contradictions, awkward yet graceful, and plain but beautiful. Moose are masters of wisdom and perception, and in spite of their large size, they are swift, confident, and fearless. Moose people always have strong presence. Their totem stands 7 feet tall with a crown of antlers almost as wide. Their antlers are said to act as an antenna to the secrets and teachings from the wise ones. If a moose is your totem, you are a mystic and you sit in the council of the ancestors. You are smart and outstanding in your field, and you are intuitive, and from an early age, you have experienced connections to spirit that have eluded others. You are a strong survivor, and a moose lives a long life. Your lofty heights are not for the many, but for the few. With a moose as a totem, you are sure to travel the long, winding path to your destiny, wisdom, and mastery. On the contrary, have you wandered into a negative territory? Head for the high ground. Have you ignored your intuition and been led down the wrong path? Do not worry. You are a strong individual that can handle anything. When in a struggle, take the high ground. So, that's on the contrary. It's saying you are a mystic and you have access to ancestors. Yeah. Um, and this is if you're total, if you're being called to the moose, you will ask the moose. That's that wisdom energy, and it's also healing. So they known to be slow, but they are swift. How can you be slow and swift at the same time? Okay. Moving forward. What we learn from the moves is to let your head and your mind reach to the stars and keep your feet grounded on the earth. Contact your ancestors. It says, listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. And so we was just talking about that. I just don't think that our ancestors were strongly tied to the traditions of the colonists. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we done took on those ways, and I just don't know if it fits. It's 2:42. All right, so I'm gonna come back. I have to go. It's past lunchtime here, and so that'll just be me and Brother Uno, of course, and the card reading for today. Rewind to see what we pulled. I didn't memorize it today like I be trying to memorize it. I ain't got it in me. I'm gonna get everybody some lunch, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna read the introduction for the Kabbalion. And that way I'm gonna put this in a playlist on this channel. Once we read the introduction, we'll continue until we get through to the end of the book. This is a short book. It has how many chapters? 15 chapters. And so the longest chapters are in the middle. They're not long at all. We're going to get through this summer. Every summer, we're going to make it a practice to read the Kabbalion. We read it last year on Instagram. And so y'all come back in with me. Let's get the introduction down. The Kabbalion is a good book. You heard what Brother Uno said about it. This is what the masters do. They have altered this. I tried to get the oldest edition. If you want to get this book, get the one that looks like this. Ancient wisdom, period. All right, y'all. I'm going to get lunch. Peace and power. And I'm out.